This is Travis Wayne Goodsell. That picture of Jesus is the only one that I will trust and approve of now because of the dreams that I've had. The first dream was while I was serving in an LDS church mission for 19-year-olds in New York, New York. I was in my first area, so I had just barely gotten out into the mission field in New York, and it was Massapequa Park where I was located at the time. And in the dream, I dreamed I was in a stake center chapel. This is the closest picture that I could find on the internet of what it looked like. I was sitting off to the left up against the wall, about 4 or 5 rows from the front, so around the middle area. And the place was packed, every seat filled, all the way back into the cultural hall of men in suits, various ages. It wasn't just young missionaries like myself. It was all ages. So it was a priesthood session of what was going on there. And they filled a stake center. And leaders were filling the seats in the stands there. And the presider got up at the pulpit there and began talking, welcoming everybody, etc., etc. And then he announced, "I now introduce to you Jesus Christ." And I looked back behind me, and the doors to get into the chapel opened up, and in came Jesus with some escorts. The escorts were in suits like the rest of the men. Jesus, however, was in a robe. He was not in a suit. It was a white robe, not the red one that you see in the picture. He proceeded down the aisle that you see here, heading towards the pulpit to speak to us. And when he got to my row, he stopped, turned, and looked straight at me. It was as if nobody else was aware that he was doing it. And he telepathically spoke to me. And he said, "You barely made it." I was stunned, as I'm sure anybody would be, but I was stunned. I didn't know what to think. I didn't know what to say, and didn't say anything telepathically back to him. And then he proceeded back up, and I think I immediately woke up from that comment. And so that was my first dream with Jesus Christ. The order of the next 2 dreams are uncertain. Either this was representation of the first of those dreams, or the other one is that I'll get to after this. But I'm doing this one first because that's my best guess as to which one was first. They were both near the same time period. And so that's why there's some confusion on that. But in my dreams, I dreamed while I was here in this place that I'm living at currently. I was married to my second wife at the time. Having first been divorced, I was finally able to remarry, even though it was short-lived. And while here and married, I had a dream in which this is the best representation again that I could find of the scene from my dream. The differences were that the number of crosses filled the whole landscape. It was just a landscape of crosses, and men hung on the crosses. Hanging, I guess, is a more correct word, I guess. And so, yeah, the night sky was darkened, and light from torches was the manner in which the light was showing. And so, yeah, it was a mass hanging that was going on, that I was witnessing. And then it zoomed in to where I saw one particular person, and sure enough, it was Jesus who was hung on the cross. And I witnessed that event for myself. There was no talking between us on this particular instance. I just became a witness of his crucifixion. The other dream with my encounter with Jesus Christ involves this scene here, which I thought there was a color picture of, so that you can see the I guess it's stained glass picture that's on the opposite side of the wall, with the light reflecting off of it to make it difficult to see that it's the first vision of Joseph Smith seeing Heavenly Father and Jesus. This is the Holy of Holies in the Salt Lake Temple. It's in the celestial room. There are ceiling rooms off to the side where the stairs go up to other ceiling rooms. This is the central room that they need to keep locked when it's not in use by the president of the Mormon Church. And it always has a plant that they place in front of the doors there in the celestial room, so that nobody can inadvertently try to go in and see what's inside. But as you can see, somebody had taken a picture from the doorway. I did not know what this room looked like when I had the dream. It was after I had the dream that I then had done a Google search on the Salt Lake Temple and found this picture among the other pictures for the Salt Lake Temple, and I went, oh my goodness, that's it. And sure enough, it was labeled the Holy of Holies. And so that confirmed that I truly was in the Holy of Holies of the Salt Lake Temple in this dream that I had, which was around the same time as the previous one that I mentioned, when I was married and living where I am now. And that was basically the dream. I was inside this room talking with Jesus Christ, not just the stained glass thing and being in the room. I actually appeared to him and in all his glory. And we conversed for quite a while on that occasion. And so those are the three dreams that I had of Jesus Christ. That is my one-on-one with Jesus.
Alleluia.